right, everybody. Thank you, Danny Salinas, for the $7 super chat. Peace and love. He has a question about about Stargate. So first, I'm gonna explain why it would even be called a Stargate. Okay, so in Kemet, there are many references to star type beings or light beings, and the Kemetians urge to get to that other side, to go to that realm of light called the Nesser. The Nesser was the realm of light, and this created the word Nisu, and it meant fire or light, and this is where you get the word Nisubiti from. Nisubiti was the original name for the pharaohs, which were eventually called Par-Iis, the great house, in which the Greeks saw them and started calling them pyramidos. They called the buildings they lived in pyramidos, and the pyramidos were the Par-Iis, and the pharaohs were the Par-Iis, and they had the same name. It meant a great house, and the pyramidos meant fire or light in the middle. So we're gonna get to the actual Stargate that is in effect today is called CERN. I'm not gonna get into a big breakdown of CERN, but I will show some references as to CERN being today's Stargate, what they're looking for, and then I'm gonna get into the ancient Stargates and the ley lines and things like such. Most people in the room are already familiar with CERN, and I'm going to show something here because I want everybody to know that we had ancient concepts that we used that were beneficial and helpful to us in our development, and the modern day government and European takes these ancient concepts and turns them into things that are destructive. So let me do this here, and we'll get into it because you guys know me. You guys know how I'm about to do this. I want to make sure I can visually show everybody what I'm speaking of. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if we can get some images here. And by the way, everybody, none of these questions I have any idea are coming. These are not anything that I've pre-prepared for. I had no idea Danny Selena is going to send me. I don't know if people are going to ask me questions about Christmas, Jesus, CERN, spiritual healing, Purim Haru, DNA, the Anunnaki. I have no knowledge of what anybody's going to ask. I'm putting myself in a position where I'm just saying ask questions, and I'll see what I can do with them. Let me see. I'm trying to get the visuals for you, and then we'll. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me just get an image, pull up an image here. Sometimes this information disappears. Gotta catch it while I can. Here it is. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the movie. Let me see if I can get the movie here, where they get this from. Alright. Okay, movie. I like to show how they're getting these images and concepts and how they're actually utilizing them today. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's a video. I can't play that. Sorry. I need just to let me see if it will. See, this is not available anymore. They remove information fast. It's not available anymore. Okay, no problem. I'll grab another. These people are not playing around. Okay, let's see. Is this from the movie? Okay, here we go. Okay, let me go ahead and do a screen share. Here we are. Everybody's here. Okay, so I'll do a little screen share here. Entire screen. Okay, so here's this is from a movie. This is the reason why people use this word. Okay, this is a movie that made it popular. The movie is called Stargate. This movie right here, Stargate. Okay, this movie here. That's the book. This movie here made this concept and this word popular. I'm sure many people have seen. Here's a good image. Here we go. There it is. This movie has made this concept very popular. A Stargate, a gateway to the stars, first made kind of popular through Star Trek and Beam Me Up Scotty. But the Stargate movie is actually the movie that showed this circular type image with this watery like type of substance, something in between it, and you walk through it and you end up somewhere else going through a vortex. So this movie made it popular. This is actually happening right now. Okay, here is the actual Stargate. Right here. Okay, so this is the large, the LHC Large Hadron Collider, and they're using this to open up stargates, and they have successfully opened up stargates or portals to the other side. We're gonna go back now to this. This is coming from the director of CERN, the director of research at CERN, physicist Sergio Bertolucci, has stated that the LHC may create a door. This is where they get the concept of a gate from. In Kemet, it was called the Saba, which was a gateway or a door entrance to the other side. An extra dimensional, according to him, something may come out of that door. We may send something through it. A top buffin at the large LHC says that the Titanic machine may possibly create or discover previously unimagined scientific phenomenon or unknown unknowns. For instance, an extra dimension. Out of this door may come something, or we may send something through, said Sergio Bertolucci, who is the director of research for the scientific computing at CERN. Brief reporters include the reg at CERN HQ earlier this week. Okay, so this is the Stargate we have over here. I went to the website, the CERN website, the Stargate website. Or they say the Hydrogen Collider. That's what they're calling it. It says many theories say dark matter particles would be light enough to be produced at the LHC. If they were created at the LHC, they would escape through detectors unnoticed. However, they would carry away energy and momentum. So physicists could infer their existence from the amount of energy and momentum missing. After a collision, dark matter candidates arise frequently in theories that suggest physicists beyond the standard model, such as supersymmetry And here's the part right here. And extra dimensions, one theory suggests the existence of a hidden valley. A hidden valley is, of course, a code word for a portal. When you think of a valley, you think of a long tube or a long pathway with things on either side of it, and you're traveling down a long path. But this is a hidden valley. This is a type of path or pathway that's not seen with the physical eye, because the physical eye is only seeing 7 colors, the 7 that make things complete in this physical world: red, yellow, blue, green, orange, purple, and violet. But this is the hidden one that's beneath that. A parallel world made of dark matter having very little common with matter we know. If one of these theories proved to be true, it could help scientists gain better understanding of composition of our universe, and in particularly how galaxies hold together. So they're studying dark matter, how to manipulate it to find or open up gateways in supersymmetry that they call hidden valleys, that they can have something come through or send something through that is made up of particles and matter that we are unfamiliar with. This is the purpose of that gateway. Okay, now we have Stephen Hawking has suggested that the LHC may be capable of creating a black hole that could swallow our world or destroy the entire universe. Stephen Hawking says the God particle, that's what they're looking for, the God particle, that scientists believe create the world, could actually end it too. The particle known as the Higgs boson has the worrisome feature that it could become unstable at extreme high energies and create a black hole that will collapse the universe. The legendary British physicist has warned in a new book, Starmus, according to the Daily Express, this could happen at any time, and we could see it coming, Hawkins claimed in his book. So not only is it creating small hidden portals, but it can create a large one that can swallow up planets. So they're trying to create these portals, and they're experimenting at the risk of destroying everyone. Okay, now, interestingly enough, through this Stargate, this is the CERN website, directly to the CERN website, and they have a section in this website called Hunting Season, which I spoke about this on the Killer Priest podcast. Hunting Season at the LHC. Okay, they are hunting for something, comparing it to a hunter's season. Right? Anybody that knows anything about hunting, you know there's different seasons that are good for catching deer, different seasons that are good for catching bears, perfect seasons, mating seasons for catching salmon as they swim upstream. There's different seasons to catch different animals, but the LHC, the Hadron Collider, has a section on their website called a hunting season. Okay, what are they hunting for? What are they looking for? They're looking for the beast, as they call it. Now, with the LHC, this is all from their website too. With the LHC now back smashing protons together at an energy of 13 TeV, what exotic beasts do physicists hope to find in this unfamiliar corner of the unnatural world? They're looking for exotic beasts as they try to travel through this hidden valley to get to dimensions on the other side and let these things through. This is the living actual Stargate. It's happening right now. They're experimenting with this Stargate over the CERN. This is one of the images of what it looks like here. And they have images where it shows energy going up into the clouds from this particular area. And these experiments are ongoing, and they're creating energy and trying to open up vortexes, open up energy. Now, to let me get back to the screen a second here. Now we're going to go to the root, stop sharing, to the root of where this actually comes from, and how the ancient ones in the Nile Valley actually use this for positive purposes. Behind me right there is the boat of Ra with the Bennu bird. And this was originally describing the travels through the Stargate that we would make to go on the other side in the afterlife. We did this for positive reasons, for immortality. And I'm going to go ahead and share the screen again. And we're going to go to a translation. This is in Miriam Litchim's book, Ancient Egyptian Literature, page 18. There is a section, a translation from the scribe's writings, because there's a section in there about the afterlife. This is on page 18, and there's a section in there about the importance of the scribe and the afterlife by the scribe Peheri, the Justified. Okay, Peheri was a scribe, and these scribes had elder scribes that advised them, and then they would advise their sons, their children, who also, some of them became scribes. So now, it goes on to say, you eat bread beside the netter, beside the god as they have, at the great terrace of the Ennead, that's the 9. Turn from there to where he is. In the midst of the leading council, you walk about amongst them. You consort with Heru's servants. You go up, you go down unhindered. This is speaking about what the Ba is able to do when you have an out-of-body experience, or when you die and your energetic, your bioenergetic projectable double comes out of your body, and then it is able to go through the original stargates, because it can vibrate on that dimension in the original hidden valleys, not the hidden valleys and the beast that the people today are looking for, but in the hidden valleys that we used to travel through when we were having out-of-body experiences, or in the afterlife. It says, you go up, you go down unhindered. You're not turned back at the gates of the Duat. The portals of Lightland is open for you. And here's the part I want to focus on. So in this scribe is writing about portals in a light land, an etheric world, or a light world. This is not the physical world. This is the world that's beneath or inside and creates the physical world, right? Particles and waves and small subatomic light particles, that these worlds are actually created. And in that world, you can travel without hindrance of physical matter. You can use the ley line grids to travel, the 64 ley line grids. And at each crossing of a grid, there's a conductivity, discontinuality ley line where they crisscross. At every place these places crisscross, these are nodal points that are the actual stargates. Nodal point 1 is where the Pyramid of Giza, as they call it, the Aku, the Mir Aku, Aket of Giza, and that is on Earth Grid 1. The Earth Grid is actually the original portals and the stargates that lead you to different parts on the planet and off of the planet. And you could travel through these stargates, as they have them, are these portals. And these are portals of a realm called the Lightland. This is a non-physical, what we would call non-physical. It's physical when you're there, because you vibrate on the same frequency. But in the world that we exist in now, these subatomic particles of minute quantum light in the realm of fire, or the realm of Nesser, the light realm that Christians stole, and say that you go into the land of light and everything is, Jesus is the light. All these concepts are coming from Kemet. It says the bolts of the slide back themselves. You reach the hall of the two truth, the double ma'at. The netter is in it, welcomes you. It's speaking about what's happening to you in the afterlife. Sometimes when people have what's called near-death experiences, they have recollections of a tunnel and at the other end of the tunnel is light. And then they see beings at the other end of the tunnel, and it looks like those beings are welcoming them, are inviting them to come over on the other side. And I just did a class on near-death experiences where all of the people that died, some of them for an hour and a half, they said it was the most pleasant experience they ever felt. Pascal Beverly Randolph, who is the father of sex magic in America, said that when he was drowning and he was dying, he felt like he was having the most massive orgasm, because that's actually what's happening. It's your final orgasm where your body is, your etheric body is ejected from your physical body. And when you get there, beings of light welcome you. There's also beings that are not of positive light, and they'll welcome you too, but they're there to destroy. So it says you settle down in the nether world, right? The underworld, right? You stride about in the city of happy. Your heart rejoices as you plow. In your plot in the fields of reeds, you are rewarded with that which you have grown. You gather the harvest. The rope is roped for you and the fairy. And it goes on. It goes on. But the part I want to focus on is the portals of light land are open to you. So there's portals which are gateways, doorways of this area that is compared to pure light, and they are opened for you. This is now the Per Emheru, or what whites, Europeans call the Book of the Dead. Right? It wasn't the Book of the Dead. It was actually the coming forth by day, by light. It was you coming forth as a being of light into the light land world, into that realm of light. So this is where the concept originally comes from, that created the term Stargate, or things associated with the heavenly skies. It was the Per Emheru, right here on page 174, where it says, I am the eldest born of unformed matter. So right in the very beginning, it talks about the Paut. This is unformed matter. Okay, we'll get into that if it's asked about. My soul is of the Neter, who are of the souls of Nehi, which is eternity, timeless. Because in that realm, there is no sun. The only reason why we have time, hours and seconds, which I was going to get into, I'm still going to get into that, hours and seconds and day and night, is because there's a sun and a planet that's rotating around it. If you take away suns and planets and take away those things, then there's no longer any time. Time itself is an illusion. I am the creator of darkness, making his place, and here it is, in the confines of the sky. Okay? So the confines of the sky are the Teruheri, right, is where this concept of a gateway to the skies come from. I come, my soul advance over the ways of the aged ones, the ancient ones. I make darkness in the confines of the sky. Once again, associating where you go to with this realm called the Heri, or the Pet, which is associated with the sky and ascension. I am strong sailing over the sky. I fetter with bands in darkness, and the worm, and here's the part I want to focus on, and the worms hidden, the Tehuti Amun, the hidden worms. In the Amduat, or on the walls of Seti, in the Book of Gates, it shows people traveling on top of serpents and snakes. These represent what are called wormholes. All right, which are, again, the hidden valleys that represent something that is long that you travel through. Okay, I extend my steps, and now when you get into this word setet, right, which is the same word for walking out of your body. The word for walking out of your body in Kemet is setet. Okay, setet, and it's to break through or to breach something, right? Breaking through or to breach something. Okay, so these were all stories. These were all explanations and descriptions of what would happen to one as they were trying to become immortal, as they were trying to become something that is not trapped by the physical world. Okay, so the word for your soul, or the word for your, I don't like using these words, but we're trapped for soul and spirit, for lack of a better word, is ka. Ka also comes from the root word ka, or kai, which is to exalt or to become high, to become to raise. So that's why you have the raised hands here. And it was raising your frequency and dimensions to go to a higher realm. Okay, the way you got to that realm was through what were called in Kemet ladders. Okay, but these weren't regular ladders. The ladders just represented something that's used to climb to a higher state, right? But these ladders were called makati, which were fire ladders. Once again, going back to traveling through these portholes of light, or stargates, because their stars were associated with light, because that's literally where light on planets come from. They come from stars. So they were called gateways of light, or today we translate them as stargates. So here it is on page 276, and we see the word maquette here, and it's a ladder. It's a ladder. This is the ladder that's described in the pyramid text as Unas being given the ladder and traveling up to higher dimensions. But in Kemet, the interesting thing about these words is that they have symbols beside them. So right beside the ladder here, you'll see here a half of a pyramid, or a stepway going up, something that's showing ascension, ascending through a realm of light, because the word ladder, maquette, is not just ladder. When we look at it, it is the ladder whereby Osiris ascended to the heavens. Where are the heavens? The heavens are the place where stars exist, right? Literally, heaven is just the sky. But this is an ascension into a realm of light, a higher realm of dimension. And that's why the ladder itself is also translated to as fire flame, or a torch. So the maquette, the same ladder that was used as a means of travel, is also called a light. This was copied into the Bible as Jacob's ladder, and that's why you see Jacob's ladder in their cartoon images as this ladder of light, and you'll see angels going up and down this flaming etheric type ladder of light. It came from the word maquette, which was the ladder that Osiris used to travel, or it was just symbolic of a means of traveling to a higher dimension of a realm of light, of Nasir, an etheric realm, and how you were traveling itself was through a flame. Okay, so that is the ladder, which is actually represented by two fingers, which is where you we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But here is the image of it right here. Here is the image of it right here. And this is what I was speaking of in the on the walls of Seti, or the Amduat, where you see beings traveling and they're on top of a serpent and they're traveling. Okay, so this is the 7 steps, are what they stole and called the 7 heavens. And you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 steps. This is why the step pyramid was created. So the first place and the oldest place that you find any spiritual writings of traveling to higher dimension is inside of what Europeans are calling a pyramid, which is actually shaped after this image. Inside of this image, you see a man, or a Heru, laying down inside of it, and you see the sun and the arms of Aten reaching down, and you see 7 steps. And on top of the 7 steps, you see Asar and his mates, because Asar represented he who ascended past the 7 steps into the next realm through these wormholes, or through these portals, or hidden valleys, which is why they're all on top of this long serpent. So it says here, the 7-stepped mound or pyramid surmounted by the god Osiris, with Sakar laying inside the throne the pronoun side, and then among many titles ascribed to Asar, one frequently used is God of the Staircase. You see, God of the Staircase, right? The 7 steps, illustrated stairway of 7 steps. Staircase are associated with ladders, and you would travel until you get into the doorway. And one of the ways for the doorway, the duat, right, is also the word for womb or thighs. Okay, over here you see an image of the Vesica Pisces, and you see an image of what they're calling black holes or gateways. And inside, the connection from one realm to the next is a Vesica Pisces, which is the shape of the woman's vagina. Energy that serves the same purposes when it manifests on the physical plane, it usually takes the same shape, because what you're seeing as shape is just language manifested as a form that is going to look like another form that does the same thing. And you're just seeing it as the shape because you're seeing the image of what you think it looks like through your visual cortex, and it forms that shape because it does the same thing. The vagina is a portal from one realm to another realm, and so is the center of a vortex or this black hole, which they show as a Vesica Pisces, which is why a lot of pictures of Jesus is coming through this image right here. But these are the stargates, are the ladder of Osiris. Okay, now the Mayans or the Aztecs had a very similar thing. Okay, so here we have the Mayans, the portals, or they called it the serpent rope. Back to the serpent rope are the wormholes again. The Mayan prophecy says the ladder will emerge from the center of the Milky Way in 2012. From out of the ladder will emerge the serpent rope carrying the 9 wind from the Codex Vendabones. And of course, they say the end of the world took place in 2012, which it actually did, because 2012 again was the height and peak of the Stargate LHC, where they actually changed the former world into the new world, which is why some of our past memories of the former world have been changed. When you look at the image of this wormhole vortex, it looks exactly like, again, the CERN. It looks exactly like the Stargate, the movie Stargate, because these stargates are drawn in the same way in these ancient cultures, and they're just imitating it today, putting them out in movies as images that are subconsciously familiar to you, because for thousands of years we've seen this image as a stargate, a gateway with a circle in the middle. But this is an ancient Aztec image of their serpent rope, right? Okay, so I'll show the step pyramid here, and here's a step pyramid which has the oldest writings of the ascension into the afterlife, and you can see the step pyramid and the image of the 7 staircase is exactly the same. That's why it is in steps going up to a peak, or a we'll just call it a peak right now for now. Okay, here is the ladder image, and this is in the antechamber. This is in the north wall, utterance 302, 312. The ladder is the maquette, the light path called the flame that one travels on to get to the other side or other dimension. Here is utterance 304 and the pyramid text that says, "Hail to you, daughter of Anubis and Pu. She stands at the windows of the Pert-U at the sky. You, the friend of Tehuti, she who stands at the 2 sides rails of the ladder." I have here ladder in orange so you can see. "Open the way for Unas to pass." Okay, so it's female energy that takes you to the other side through the ladder, just like it is feminine or female energy that takes you from the other world into this world in the form of a delivery or the form of a birth. Without the female energy, you would not be able to be born from one realm to the next, whether in this physical world or in the world on the other side. Both of them in Kemet are depicted as female energy because it's birth. Here is what a portal or a stargate would look like. The maquette, the ladder, or the fiery flame ladder, and it would look like a spinning vortex. Spirit portals are energy vortexes. into the light land, or the light realm. Okay, so here is another image of what they call the wormhole theory. Why is it called wormhole theory? Because it comes from the ancient ones, the Kemetians, the Aztecs, who draw their images of traveling from one dimension to another as a snake or a worm. And that's why when you look at this image here, you see it looks like a snake with a head. You fold time and you can go from one side to the next. It says the wormhole theory, a model of folded space-time, illustrated how a wormhole bridge may form with at least two mouths that are connected to a single throat or tube. And the wormhole theory postulates that a theoretical passage, right, there's your Stargate, theoretical passage through space-time could create shortcuts for long journeys across the universe. Wormholes are predicted by the theory of general relativity, but be wary. Wormholes bring with them dangers of sudden collapse, right? Just like they warned about the Hydrogen Collider in CERN. Sudden collapse, high radiation, and dangerous contact with exotic matter, right? Or what they call at CERN the exotic beasts, right? Wormholes were first theorized in 1916, though that wasn't what they were called at the time. While reviewing other physicists' solution to the equation in Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, Austrian physicist Ludwig Flamm realized another solution was possible. He described white hole theoretical time reversal of a black hole. Entrances to both black and white holes could be connected space-time, and here's how it's depicted: as a vortex of light or fire, or something that looks like this to our eyes in this realm. Okay, so this is what it looks like. These are the portals. These are the stargates here. And that's why it says in Utterance 3:3, say the purified himself that's appearing on the mound. That's the mound, the same image of what they're calling a pyramid, represented a mound which was ascending upwards of the earth, in which he purified himself. He placed a hib-eb stand, and he set up the ladder. Those who are in the great heaven, see that? Take the arm of Unas, or this N here stands for any pharaoh, anyone who is in the coffin at the time. Say greetings to thee, ray traverser of heaven, right? So it's always associated with going up into the heavens, or going through this passageway into higher realms, which are the stargates. Okay, so these stargates, there's another depiction here. It says, ascend Unas to the heaven, thou climbeth on this in the name of ladder. Over here, climb upon her in her name of ladder. Once again, it's the female energy that gives birth. It's the female energy that allows you passageway through the afterlife. That's why when you see on the walls of Seti, and you see Seti going through his paths, he is greeted by Sekhmet Heteru, and she's the one that helps rebirth him. That's why you see Sekhmet in the tree, Heteru in the tree, giving fluids to the deceased. And this is where you get the concept of the tree of life, because just like trees give us life, it is the female who's represented by the tree in these texts that's giving man life in the afterworld, just as the female gives you fruit, gives you life, gives you milk, gives you the umbilical cord and everything you need to survive in the in this world over here. And that's why it says upon her. And to end this off, we'll show where this got into Christianity. Now this is the Met Museum two-finger amulet, 664 332 BC. And we see here that the amulet, two stylized human fingers that are about life size. The amulets were used exclusively for the dead, and were often found in place in embalming incisions and made during the mummification. The amulets were meant to magically heal a wound. First examples of this are the 26 dynasties, and this amulet in the Book of the Dead, the pyramid text, says Pepi has gone straight away to heaven by means of the two fingers. The two fingers, because these two fingers represent the ladder. That's how you make a ladder sign with your hand in Kemet. You just can't put the little lines in between that you'd step on. All you put is your two fingers, and it represents the ladder, which is your ascension into the next world. Because the European and because Christians knew of this, they knew that subconsciously we would see these two fingers that would represent the connection from this world to the next world. So they gave us this guy. They gave us this guy, which is the new connection. The new connection from this world to the next world, because why? No man can get to the Father but by me. He is the way, the truth, the light, right? You can't get into the afterlife, eternal afterlife, but by Jesus. So they always show you a picture of Jesus with the two fingers of Kemet, which represents the ladder, the pathway by means of which one transverses from this physical world into the next realm, into light land. But they're giving you this as Jesus, and that's why when you walk up to any Christian or pastor and ask them, why does Jesus have up two fingers? Is there any reference in the Bible to this? Why is Jesus always shown like this with his two fingers up? Because the two fingers of Osiris, and that represents the gateway into the next realm, or the original Stargates. And I'm going to end it right there. Thank you for your question. There's much more, but I'm not going to take in the whole